Hi, I'm David Milford, part of the team building Warley Vale. Principally track building, track laying. Myself, I have an exhibition layout, Chollerford, which has been on the exhibition circuit for about 6 or 7 years now. Layouts are my principal interest. I have a former school friend that we've always kept in touch. He tends to do locomotive building, kit building. So my interest is more in track work and scenics. Belonged to Warley for too long to remember. I think it was 1988. So I've seen a few changes in the club. So we're going to press on with Warley Vale. At the moment we've decided on the track layout. Not very complicated, 3 points. It's Peco's new bullhead track. First time I've ever laid any of this. It's quite fine scale, put it politely. But nothing's broken so far. The principle is to incorporate it with point rodding. At the moment we've set the fixed position of 1 point, which will be on one part of the main line, spaced out the sleepers, so the next step is to cut the track to length and then get it fixed down. The main line will use the Peco track setter, which, as you can see, gives you automatically your 6 foot, which is the common term for the section between the tracks, and the 4 foot, which is the track itself. Just to get some idea of how it's all going to line up as it goes through the diorama. We've discussed fixing the track, certainly using track pins. There's 2 possibilities. One, to countersink the head of the track pin into the sleeper, so hopefully you don't see it later on when it's ballasted, or we can just leave the track pins proud until it's ballasted, take the track pins out and just conceal the holes. So that's the next thing, in similar manner, just to get the alignment all the way through the board. And the best way is to mark the edges of the sleepers at this point, otherwise you forget where they're meant to go when you start fixing them. At the moment we've reached a point where the track has been perhaps not roughly laid out, it's laid out on the type of curve we want to achieve, just to make sure that before we start pinning track down that everything will work. The main principle is to get one line of track, the one with the track setter on, set completely right, and then hopefully every other piece of track will follow that. That's it. Keep that butted up. Right. sort that sleeper out at the end in terms of gluing it in place. Okay, we've now cut the one half of the main line to length. We've decided to go for gluing the track in position rather than pinning. Before we actually do that, we've more or less reached the end of this stage. We're then going to pre-wire droppers on the underside of the track, either probably cutting the plastic web and soldering direct to the underside of the rail so it's not too visible. For electrical connections, they'll then go straight down through the board. So hopefully next time we'll have those installed and ready to lay the track.